Once upon a time, not too far from here, there lived a carpenter named Leem. Now, Lee was a simple man. He enjoyed the feel of the wood beneath his rough-hewn hands, the smell of sawdust in the air, and the quiet focus required to coax a living from a stubborn tree. Most of all, he loved the look on his customers' faces when they saw his finished pieces. One day, Leem had an idea. He would make a plow and sell it at the market. He had some extra wood from a recent job that looked just right for the project, so off he went to his workshop. He gathered his tools and set up his workspace right by the roadside. The plan was simple: make the plow, sell the plow, earn some money, and then maybe make an ox cart or a chest. Maybe he'd even have enough money to fix the roof. As he began carving, a passerby stopped to watch. "That plow looks too small," the man said finally. "Farmers prefer larger ones. You'll have trouble selling it at that size." Leem thought about this. The man was right, of course. He knew the bigger the plow, the more likely a farmer would buy it. But he also knew that making a bigger plow would take extra wood, and extra wood meant extra money. Still, it was only a guess. Maybe the extra money wouldn't be a problem. "Thanks for the advice," he said finally. "I think I will make it bigger." And with that, he got back to work. About an hour later, another passerby stopped. "This plow seems too big," she said. "It might be hard to handle. Smaller ones are better. You'll waste your time making something nobody wants." Again, she was right, of course. A smaller plow would be easier to sell, and Leem did need to finish his other jobs. Still, it was only a guess. Maybe the smaller plow would sell. "Thanks for the advice," he said finally. "I think I will make it smaller." And with that, he got back to work. A few hours later, another passerby stopped. "In the mountains, they use elephants to plow fields," he said. "You should make it even bigger to suit them." The man was right, of course. Elephants were strong and sure-footed and could plow fields much faster than oxen. Leem needed to make something really big, but he had already used extra wood for the first two alterations. How much more wood would he need? Still, it was only a guess. Maybe the elephant plow would sell. "Thanks for the advice," he said finally. "I think I will make it bigger." And with that, he got back to work. Lee worked all day, and the sun began its slow journey toward the mountains. He looked at his plows. They were all different sizes, all different shapes. None of them were perfect. He had tried to please everyone and ended up pleasing no one. He had followed every bit of advice and made a complete mess of things. The next morning, he took his plows to the market. Farmers came by to see what he had made. "Too big, too small, not well made enough," they said, shaking their heads. No one wanted to buy. Leem tried to sell them. He offered to make any size plow for any price. But farmers had been giving him the same advice. And now he was giving them the same result. Finally, he gave up and brought the plows home again. Leem sat down by his workbench, defeated. What was he going to do? Then he looked around his workshop. He was a carpenter. All he needed was a good piece of wood and a clear idea. Why did he listen to all those people? He had listened to himself, he would have made a perfect plow. From that day on, Leem never forgot that he was a carpenter. Sure, sometimes he listened to advice, but he also knew when to ignore it. Because it wasn't the size of your plow that mattered, it was how well you made it. That is the story of the indecisive carpenter.